Hello, greetings, this is Gilles Mancion. I wanted to stop by and say hello. I want to pull out a few cards today, but I wanted to discuss a few things from a more spiritual point of view. We looked into philosophy with the philosophers, philosophers have addressed many aspects of life, such as psychology, science, sociology, politics, spirituality, and so all those things are part of philosophy. They are useful to be addressed, and right now I'm going over all those many philosophers and philosophy in order to see which is what can I use in my own consciousness to bring references to those I may speak to that may already have read those other philosophers. So it is very useful. In essence, the essence of infinity is manifested in 7 co-absolutes. In essence, there is only one infinity, there is one God, one truth, and all of it is true. All of it is part of that great understanding. You, me, this camera, this computer, everything is part of the truth, part of we are just, no matter how small is a detail, since all is within all, there is really no separation between matter and spirit, and even cause and effect. From a paradise point of view, cause and effect are the same. If your intention is to ascend, it is as if you already ascended. If your intention is to return to God, then you already are there from a God perspective. So all those things from intention, we can already see that things are moving forward. We can move things forward just by our intention to set ourselves to decide to make choices that we are choosing such or such. It is far more to understand life as a whole. It is far easier to start from the infinite into the finite than to look at it from the finite into this amazing infinity that we can even begin to comprehend. In essence, there is 3 levels of God attainment we can achieve, which is supremacy, ultimacy, and absoluteness. So, in essence, to understand infinity, there is a temporal storyline that has been given for mortal people, mortal beings, to understand the idea of infinity. Although there is a paradox to that, because the 7 co-absolutes of infinity have always been there; they've always existed together. So there's never been a time where those reality were not existing, yet there is a sequentiality that can be expressed as such. The first idea is that there must have been a time, imaginary time, that there was only one being, one God, with all will, all power, all past, all future, all possibility. Everything was within that infinity, but nothing else was there. There was no separation, no action, nothing was there. It was just one being that was infinite, and one day that one being decided to act upon his will, and so separation was made between the personal and the impersonal. The eternal Son was created as the absolute being, the absolute first person, was second person of deity, because the Father became the Father of the Son, and then God the Father put all that was spiritual within the Son, and all which was non-spiritual of Himself within the paradise isle, and so those were the first 2 absolutes, and the tension relationship between the personal Son and the impersonal paradise eventuated the presence of the infinite spirit, the conjoint actor, the God of action, which is a God of mind, the infinite mind that can look at his parents, the Father and the Son, and put into action the divine plan of creation on behalf of the Father and the Son. Its first action of will was to take the patterns of paradise and to create an ultimate universe of infinite perfection called Avona. The central universe is made of 1 billion perfect spheres with perfect inhabitants, and those are eternal realities that are ancestral to all other universes. For eternity, this was just what it was: paradise and the central universe, and everything was fine. We could have gone forever without having to create the universe. But at some point, the gods, the paradise trinity. I will come back to the other 3 co-absolutes. Have decided to create a reality beyond the sphere of the central universe that called the super universes of time and space. So the 7 of such huge galactic families were created, and each of the super universe is meant to contain 100,000 local universe. And each of the 7 super universe have a different philosophy, a different the laws of reality, the laws of ascension, the laws of administration are completely different. Our own level of reality is we live in the 7th super universe, whose name is Orvonton, and is probably the most difficult, but the super universe that comprises the synthesis of all other super universe. As it is, it is administrated as if the Father, Son, and Spirit would have equal voice in the administration of such super universe. Of course, those are paradisical forces that are influencing the universe from within. Then it is given to the Ancient of Days that regulate the coordination of the evolution of all the local universe. So we have those 3 existential absolutes: the Father, the Son, the Spirit. Then there is the non-personal paradise, and then there were also 3 co-absolutes of potentiality. Those 3 co-absolutes of potentiality are very, very mysterious. They are the deity absolute, the unqualified absolute, and the universal absolute. The deity absolute is the sum of all that which the Paradise Trinity will be fulfilling in terms of experience in the infinite, at the end of time, not the end of time, but at the end of all transcendence. The unqualified absolute represents this absolute force that is wholly non-personal, and then the universal absolute balances out the action of the personal and the impersonal, that is semi, that brings it into equilibrium, so to speak. So those absolutes are always working within the universe of universes. Yes, their action is wholly mysterious because they only deal in the relationship to absolute reality, and so they are very until we reach that level of full comprehension, they're very difficult to understand those relationships because they transcend spirit, they transcend law, and so. But if the deity absolute does something, nobody else would contradict. No one in the whole universe of universe can ever contradict that. It is as if the paradise deity has chosen something. So those are reality that we'll come to learn increasingly as we move forward. We move from material to morancial, which is a light body, to spiritual. We gain a spiritual body. Then eventually we accumulate our spiritual education towards supremacy. We become one with the supreme being, which is the sum of all 7 super universe teachings and education. And then we become absolute. We become transcendental. We move beyond that. And then there is a huge amount of transcendental potential that emerge from that. Once we achieve the whole complete education of all the transcendental potential, then we reach ultimacy. We discover God as an ultimate, as a supreme ultimate, which is the master universe. Eventually we will, it is difficult to conceive, but we should be able to achieve the deity absolute, which is far more than the master universe, but it is very difficult to discuss those. In a sense, it is our mental attitude that determine our place in the universe. If you conceive yourself as divine, you will be one step ahead of if you consider yourself mortal. So it is about, no matter what, your true nature cannot be changed. You are eternal, immortal, and finite, but your belief in relationship to who you are, since you cannot truly prove those things, it requires some faith. So in essence, it's a bit. There is no philosophy can fully cover the essence of truth, because living in the truth being infinite and living in a finite world, every truth that can be proposed, whether it is scientific or philosophic, or it has to be relative to time and space, the time and space and mental condition of what we are going through, in order for us to grasp it and move to the next level. So in essence, wisdom is just the bridge that takes us from one level to the next. In essence, one thing that's very important to understand is right now there should not be we have to let go of the idea I should do that, or I have to do that, or those things. It's like we get to do what we feel we have to do, and then just do what's in our heart, in our mind, in our soul, in our will, and then we use our time and energy in relationship to those things that are true meaning for us. So I will pull out a few cards for the day. The tarot is kind of practical. It's like a mirror to communicate to our higher self. Essentially, tarot comes from the Middle Ages. They were used first in Europe in the Middle Ages, but it's far more ancient tradition. It's a wisdom teaching from Egypt. They used to use those arcanes to consult oracles. Tarot, I think, comes from an ancient Egyptian word named Tara, which means the royal way towards ascension, towards knowledge, towards wisdom. And something that is not well known, that may come back into eventually, is that right now in the Tarot we have 22 major arcanes, but in Egypt they had 40 of them. And some of those missing arcanes are very, very powerful, and so they withheld the sacred knowledge until man was more ready to accept that. But for now we'll work with those 22 major arcanes and the minor ones as well. The situation for us is letting go of those things that no longer need to be there. So it is easier said than done, but it is very important. It is clear what we need to let go. So it is just a matter of allowing ourselves the time to create the condition for a transition where we can feel that all those things can go. We won't have to hold them back. What's in the invisible world is slowing down. So those things is not yet visible, but there's going to be an energy that is going to come and calm us down. Nothing can ever be still in a material sense, but in our mind we have to learn to still our mind, and because our mind is above the planes of matter, so therefore we can move it as to learn to slow down, to even put some space between our thoughts by breathing and then having a thought, and then breathing again, having a thought, and then we breathe out a thought coming. We avoid it. It's not that we avoid it, but the more space we can learn to put between our thoughts, the easier will come into the integration of those higher energies and higher light. What we see outside of us is receptivity. It means that as above, so below. It is coming down. It's to be receptive, to be always in the sphere, to be always receptive. It is very important to always be in a position to receive wisdom, to receive knowledge, to receive energy from the universe. For that, our mind needs to be a little, if we're too busy within our mind, it is very difficult for spirit to bring about that essence, that wisdom. So it is a process. We're learning to slow down. What we're learning to do right now is guidance, is to be able to connect to our guidance, to trust our guidance, to be comfortable with creating this connection and following it. Sometimes the guidance, we may not understand it yet. Know that if you connect it to a higher guidance, you connect to higher guides, the guides that have wisdom, then your guidance will always be right and proper. For the guidance is perfectly adequate to what we need. We just need to be able to tune in to that frequency where we're able to receive the information that is relative to whatever we have before us. And in a sense, the outcome of this learning will be adventure. There is a great sense of freedom and liberty and adventure that will come as a result of letting go of those limited ideas and so the limited ideas, limited behavior, limited beliefs, limited judgment. All those things will leave us, and so we'll. It is like we'll be able to open ourselves to a realm that is far more magical, far more mystical, far more intuitive, far more exciting as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed those times. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I thank you very much. I wish you a good day. Namaste.